Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWAS Thursday Night College Football Week 12. We got one game. It's it's not the most exciting. That being said, I do have a bet in it. So ECU, Tulsa, Thursday night. Let's do it.
Welcome to the SWAS. The SWAS. SWAS. Hey, get the SWAS.
All right, like I said, East Carolina is on the road here. Tulsa's now catching 14.5 points at home in this one. This number was at 10.5. So it's been moving dramatically to ECU. It's now up over 2 touchdowns, obviously. Total sitting at, looks like 62.5 across the board. Let's take a look at the pie charts, and according to the data here, action's coming in heavily on the ECU side. Over 80% of the tickets, over 80% of the money. Take this data with a grain of salt, although based on how ECU's been playing the last few weeks, I would imagine most of the public action is coming in on East Carolina. So that's probably an accurate representation, but still, take it with a grain of salt. So let's get into this matchup, and we'll start with the East Carolina offense against the Tulsa defense. Now, when we look at this graphic, it doesn't look like much of a mismatch for ECU. I mean, they're 113th in OFEI compared to 125th. For Tulsa defensively, 33rd in yards per play, 70th in success rate for the ECU offense, 126th and 53rd for the Tulsa defense. But the lead story on this side of the ball is the quarterback change for East Carolina since switching to Hauser. Here's the comparison right here. First 5 games before making the quarterback change, 27 points per game, 40.5% success rate, 5.47 yards per play. In the 3 games since Hauser has been named the starting quarterback, they're averaging over 44 points per game, 49% success rate, 8.1 yards per play. So night and day difference here. Since Hauser has taken over at starting quarterback, this ECU offense looks dramatically better. And it hasn't just been through the air. They're running the ball as well. Last 3 games, over 185 rushing yards per game, over 6.1 yards per carry, almost 50% success rate per rush. Passing numbers also look pretty explosive, over 10.7 yards per attempt, almost 300 passing yards per game. So yeah, since making the quarterback change, this ECU offense seems like it has a whole new life. That being said, not to rain on East Carolina's parade, but we do have to point out, okay, his first start was against Army, and yeah, he put up some numbers in that game. It was all in garbage time. Army was up 31-0 in the third quarter before ECU scored a single point. He drove down the field and scored 4 touchdowns against Army's second unit in complete garbage time. If you remember, Army minus 17 was one of the most public bets on the board last week, and they came back in the last second and scored to make it 17 even. So yeah, they scored 28 points, and they put up some offensive numbers. They were getting blown out in that game, and that was his only road start. Since then, we've seen Hauser make 2 home starts against really bad teams, Temple and FAU. Now they go on the road to Tulsa for Hauser's second road start. Now, Tulsa is nothing even comparable to Army, but it's important to take note that his only road start so far this year, they were down 31-0. They got absolutely smoked, and he racked up a bunch of numbers in garbage time. So I think there is something to be said that this is only his second road start. And by the way, he might not have the same run support here. Tulsa is not a good football team, but one thing they're actually kind of decent at, stopping the run. In their last 3 games, they're allowing under 3.3 yards per carry, success rate per rush under 29%, just 99 rushing yards allowed per game. So they are capable of stopping the run. If you look at their season-long game logs here, the middle column is yards per carry. I mean, Army ran on Tulsa. North Texas was able to run on Tulsa too, even though just 33.3% success rate in that game. Other than that, nobody has really run the ball on Tulsa this year. So now you add that on top of it. You got Hauser making his second road start. In his first road start, they were getting blown out 31-0. He might not have the same run support that he's had in the last 2 games. I think that's interesting. That's all I'm saying. And keep in mind, as explosive as this new look ECU offense is, he has had turnover problems. He's already thrown 4 interceptions. He's got a C- turnover-worthy play rate. So he's a gunslinger. He puts the ball in harm's way. Limited run support. I wouldn't be surprised if Hauser throws a couple picks in this game. No question he's going to make plays against a bad Tulsa defense. No question ECU's going to score some points in this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a couple costly picks, and Tulsa's actually able to make this one kind of interesting. But what about on the other side of the ball? We got the Tulsa offense against the ECU defense. Now, Tulsa's offense, when we were talking about Tulsa's defense, it's not good, but at least you could point at the run defense and say, hey, they're actually not bad at this. When it comes to the Tulsa offense, there's nothing to point at. This is a crime scene. They're 133rd in OFEI, 117th in yards per play, 127th in success rate. They really don't do anything well at all. Can't run the ball, can't throw the ball. They're matched up against an ECU defense that's, I mean, it's pretty good. The numbers make it look better than it is. 58th in yards per play, 27th in success rate. Look at the numbers against the run. 50th in yards per carry allowed, 14th in success rate per rush. But if you look at the schedule adjusted numbers, 102nd in effective rush, 111th in effective pass, 96th in DFEI. So some advanced metrics indicate this ECU defense isn't as good as the raw data indicates. Still no question they're much better than Tulsa's offense though. East Carolina should be able to generate some pressure in this game. They're 26th in pressure rate, 91st in sack rate, 41st in pass rush grade compared to Tulsa's offensive line, 92nd, 102nd, 105th. So ECU should be able to generate some pressure. Kirk Francis has been awful under pressure. F QB rating, F turnover worthy play rate, F in yards per attempt. So ECU pressure should give Kirk Francis all kinds of problems here. Now, if Kirk Francis was still playing quarterback for Tulsa, I'd say, all right, we cannot trust the Tulsa offense against this pass rush. But now it's Cooper Legas. Remember him from Utah State last year? He started the last two games. He actually had a nice game throwing the ball against UTSA, 370 yards, 8.4 yards per pass attempt. So maybe Tulsa's offense finding a little bit of life themselves in the last couple of games with a new quarterback. Regardless, we know this is not a very good offense at all. But here's the thing. This ECU defense, and this dates back multiple years, much better at home. And like I said, this dates back to last year as well. At home this year, they're allowing just 18.4 points per game, 30.1% success rate, 4.69 yards per play. An elite defense at home. Look at their defensive numbers away from home, allowing over 37 points per game, success rate above 45%, 5.72 yards per play. This defense is just different at home. On the road, ECU turns into an unreliable defense. I'm not saying Tulsa's terrible offense is going to score a bunch of points. I'm just saying we've seen this ECU defense look really, really bad on the road, and that dates back to last year as well. So where does that leave me in terms of placing a bet? Well, I wrote in my notes, if this number crossed over 14, I would bet Tulsa. That exact thing happened. It crossed over 14, so I grabbed it. Scoop was on it in the Discord, and I said, screw it, let's do it. I took Tulsa plus 14.5. I think we finally see Hauser come back down to earth a bit. Maybe throws an interception or two on the road. They didn't look great in his last road start, his only road start. So I could see a couple turnovers there. I mentioned Tulsa's defense has shown us they're capable of stopping the run. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tulsa's defense is actually able to slow ECU's offense down a bit. And on the other side, ECU's defense should be able to dominate Tulsa's awful offense, but ECU defensively, for whatever reason, just doesn't play as well on the road. 14.5 is a huge number here. I'm taking it. I bet this. Tulsa plus 14.5. If you'd like to see all the bets I currently have open, head over to KyleKirms.com and click on Open Bets. You'll see all mine as well as everyone on the staff here. Also, if you sign up to Sauce Network Plus, it comes with access to the Discord, and you can participate in the weekly betting league. $150 cash and one of these trophies go to the winner every single week. So if you're interested, head over to the website and sign up. Live show, 4 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go through this game. We'll go through the NFL game. We'll go through the NBA game. There's one game in each sport, maybe some college basketball. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Let's have ourselves a good one. Please remember to bet responsibly. Talk to you in the Discord.